Is getting era score points confusing to you? Do you find yourself in Dark Age while other thieves are in the Golden Age? Do you want to have actual control on your era score and thus decide to avoid Dark Age or even lead your thief to be in a Golden Age? If you answered yes to those questions, then you are in luck, as today we will demystify, simplify, and clarify era score points, and in the process help you get that sweet, sweet golden age, or even better, heroic age. I will first present to you an overall strategy to manage your era score points, after which I will share with you the categories of era score points as I analyzed it. Now, let's get straight to the video, survivors. Part 1. Overall strategy. In a civilization, historic moments happen throughout the timeline of the game, and era score points are then awarded to a civilization each time a historic moment has occurred. Era score points are very critical, because depending on the number of era score points you have accumulated during an era, you may or may not cross a threshold number which will determine if you will have a Dark Age, a Normal Age, a Golden Age, or a Heroic Age. When we try to categorize the era score points in a theoretical approach, we can try to split them into two main groups. The era score points you are competing for, and the era score points you have guaranteed for each civilization. Some are sort of in the gray area to some extent, and keep in mind this is besides the era score points you can earn from your normal and Dark Age dedications. I have played hundreds of hours in Civ 6 and have thus encountered numerous complex situations for different victory conditions. But the repeated analysis resulted in an overall strategy in relation to the era score points. A. When approaching a new era, based on your game grand strategy, you need to define if you desire the coming next era to be a Dark Age, Normal Age, or Golden Age. B. You then need to assess your options to gain the required era score points. This is generally recommended that if you need only 20 era score points, you only earn this much, as most of the time the extra ones earned might be a waste and become badly needed for the following era. C. Then, for the said era, my overall approach is to focus first on winning the era score points you have to compete for, which are uncertain to be earned, and there is some gambling decisions to make. While in parallel, prepare for the guaranteed ones and try to have some of these as tentative and reserve them as a backup, and only activate them if necessary during the second half of the era. To be noted is that I do not recommend going systematically for the maximum number of points all the time. This guide is here to help you decide when to earn more points and when to reduce the earnings. Defining if you need to go for a Golden Age or not would not be part of this video and would be another topic in another video. Another note is that we are not here to go through the 150 plus different era score points, but more to present to you a strategy, and you can refer in the description below if you desire to go through the complete list of the 150 plus era score points. The goal is not to gain as many points as you can all the time, but the goal is for you to gain a minimum amount of points per era, then give it a push during some selected eras. Therefore, sometimes you will also need to delay some points from an era to the following one. Part 2. The era score points you compete for. Within this group, we can define two subgroups. One subgroup is for the era score points that if you fail, you will get nothing, we will call this subgroup compete only once. And one subgroup is for the era score points that if you fail, you will still earn some points. We will call this subgroup compete world first. Part 2.1. Compete only once. The era score points that only one player will earn are points you should assess your chances to win these and evaluate the cost of competing for these points. These include, of course, the World Wonders. Some have relatively easy requirements and many players can compete for these, while others have more stringent requirements and have a lower chance to have a competition. A contemporary wonder built will provide you 4 points, while an earlier era wonder will provide you 3 points. During the early game, for Ancient up to Medieval era, some very important era score points to win are the clearing of barbarian camps, providing guaranteed 2 points each time, and if within 6 tiles of one of your cities, will even provide 3 points. Also, during the early game, each tribal village looted will provide you 1 era score point. Another early game key victory points to get is to become the first suzerain of a city-state with 3 envoys. This can sometimes be relatively easy, and besides the era score points, it will also provide numerous advantages. This can also open the door to more era score points later on, such as leaving a city-state army close to an enemy during a war, or such as gaining access to new heroes. On this note, I would like to flag that a very good tip is to consider utilizing the Governor Amani early on and have him carry out a tour of the city-states, moving every 5 turns. You can this way grab lots of era score points.
Skill without imagination.
Part 2.2. Compete worlds first. These are the era score points you compete for, and the first player to achieve these earns the maximum points, while if you complete it afterwards, you will still earn points, but less. We will call these the world's firsts. You have many world's first. World's first unit. There are numerous era score points in this subgroup. You have the world's first unit with strategic resources such as swordsman with iron, for example, or the first galley during the early game, or the first plane later on during your mid game. These ones are very convenient as you can always accelerate production of such firsts by chopping a forest, for example, or by purchasing the unit. World's first, population. You have the firsts which are related to your development, such as the first cities to reach population 10, 15, 20, and 25. World's first, civic. This includes the first civic for each new era, but also the civics dependents first, the first corps, fleet, armies, and armada, as well as the first new tier of government, or the first neighborhoods, to name a few. World's first, science. You have the first technology research for each new era, and this also applies to the technology-dependent firsts, such as the first tunnel, the first railroad connection. The first of many things can provide you extra points with technology. World's first, exploration. Some other firsts can be more random and less under control. These can still be influenced on if you decide to compete for these, such as the first to discover a natural wonder, the first to meet all civilization, the first world circumnavigation, or the first world industry. By definition, these firsts give more points to the first civilization achieving it, but even if you fail being the first, you will still earn some points. Therefore, for these era score points, you need to be careful on when you compete for being the first in the world to achieve it and when you let it go. And you keep these era score points for later, for you to keep it in your sleeve to earn the said point when you need it more. This leads us into the second main category of era score points, the ones that each and every civilization can earn, the guaranteed era score points. Part 3. Guaranteed era score points. These guaranteed era score points can also be split into two subgroups. One is for the historic moments which can only be completed once, and the other subgroup is for the historic moments that can be repeated multiple times. Part 3.1. The guaranteed only once. It goes without saying that some of these guaranteed era score points are to be scheduled and executed carefully so you can use them as a last resort in the end of an era and escape from a dark age or compensate, for example, the failure on a World Wonder race and still reach your desired golden age, for example. There are several kinds of these guaranteed only once era score points for each civilization. It includes all of the world's first, which have already been completed by another civilization, as previously explained, but it also includes numerous era score points for you to do, and some very important ones. District with high adjacency bonus. These will provide you with 3 era score points each. How does it work? Your first districts to reach a certain adjacency bonus upon completion, which is an adjacency of 3 for campus, holy site, and theater square, and adjacency bonus of 4 for a commercial district, harbor, and industrial zone. These provide a lot of points and can be utilized wisely. Please note that if, for example, you build a commercial hub with an adjacency bonus of 3 upon construction, and therefore you do not earn the historic moment, and then later on you improve it to 4, this will still not trigger the era score point. In order to trigger it, you need to achieve an adjacency bonus of 4 upon construction. These are very dependent on your starting geography. And a good tip is for you to consider including the government plaza in your district's master planning for its adjacency bonus. Districts with buildings fully constructed. You will earn 3 era score points again for the first of each of these districts when you will have completed the construction of all of the buildings inside the district. Civilizations' unique units and buildings. Every civilization in the game has unique units, unique districts, buildings, or improvements. Whenever you complete the first one, you will earn 4 era score points. Heroes. Now, about the heroes. You will earn 2 era score points for your first hero claimed, then departed, while you will then be able to repeat this bonus for more heroes. However, it will then be only 1 era score point each time. Pantheon and religion. Whenever you will adopt your pantheon and your religion, as well as when you fully develop your religion, you will also earn era score points. And these religious era score points can obviously not be repeated. Then there are some others, such as, for example, your very first canal, that will also grant you bonus points to your civilization. Part 3.2. Guaranteed repeatable. By definition, these repeatable era score points will provide points every time you complete them, but they typically do not provide a lot of points. Colonization location. A set of available era score points in this category are related to the geography of your colonizations. Whenever you colonize within 2 tiles of a natural wonder, you will earn 3 era score points. Whenever you colonize within 2 tiles of a floodable river or a volcano, you will also earn 1 era score point. If you settle in a desert, in tundra, or in snow, you will earn 1 point as well. This also works when colonizing close to another player city, if you settle within 5 tiles. Still on colonization, whenever you settle on a continent for the first time, you will also earn 2 era score points. International trade routes. Whenever you complete your first trade route with another civilization and establish an outpost in this civilization for the first time, you also gain 1 era score point. This can be considered repeatable as it can be done with numerous civilizations. Recruit or purchase of great people. For the great people, you will earn 1 era score points every time you will obtain 1. Therefore, focusing on a couple of great people points generating buildings will, on the long term, provide numerous era score points. To be noted is that you will instead gain 3 points for the first time you purchase a great person with faith or gold. Archaeology. With archaeology, during the mid-game, you will earn 1 era score points for every artifact you dig. To be noted is that the first shipwreck will provide 2 points instead of 1. Military. Every time one of your units will defeat an enemy unit with a higher formation, such as corps or army, you will earn 1 era score point every time. Religion. On the religious side, one noticeable one is that every time you will proselytize a city from a civilization you are at war with, you will earn 3 era score points. You heard me. 3 era score points each single time for each single city. Now, as a summary of our strategy discussion on the era score points, we have gone through the competing era score points, which includes the ones and only ones, as well as the world's first, and the guaranteed era score points, some being usable only once, while others can be repeated. The first group, compete, is a high focus during the first half of an era, while the second group, the guaranteed, becomes of a higher importance during the second half of an era. If you have gone this far into the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate the support and it helps the channel grow. I hope these tips will be helpful for you to feel more in control of the era score points and the Dark Age and Golden Age, a fundamental layer to Civilization 6. Please note that the game has regular content updates with the new season pass. Therefore, some data could change over time, but the overall approach and the method will remain valid even after future updates. If you have any comments, suggestions, additional tips, feel free to leave a message in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and see you on my next videos. Until then, have a good day. Cheers.